Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is May 4th, 2024, and we are getting into volume 204 of me answering your immigration related questions. As always, before beginning this video, I'm going to mention, as I mention in every video, I'm not an immigration attorney. This is not legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course the Department of State, mostly with their visa bulletin. So let's start with the first question comment from Fiandres5884. Hello sir, good morning from Philippines. Good morning. I'm F2A, priority date December 12, 2019 and documentarily qualified June 6, 2022. Still waiting for interview. I don't know when. Thank you in advance. God bless sir. Fiandres, thank you very much for your question. So let's take a look. So your chargeability area is Philippines. F2A, let's see if Philippines and the rest of the world are the same when it comes to the priority date, and looks like it is. As you can see on final action dates, that's what we're looking at for you because we're waiting for the immigration interview to see when the availability of the immigrant visa is. So June 21 and June 21 for Philippines the same. So you are in, let's see, okay, so you have been current now for December 12, 2019, and we are in 2021. So there was some major movement for the graph A for the F2A recently. So if I say that you've been current now for a year and a half, 2 years, it's not going to be correct. So I'm pretty sure you have been current a little bit less, but again, correct me if I'm wrong. You really know when, because if you have paid attention to the visa bulletin, you saw that some of the months visa bulletin, especially recently in the past like 3-4 months, it moved quite a lot. All right, so you might have been current for about a year, I would say, probably. Now Philippines, as far as we know, Manila, US Embassy in Manila, Philippines, they are quite busy, and as far as I can tell from the people who are commenting on this channel, the overall wait time seems to be about 2, maybe 2.5 years. So potentially you have some more wait time. But honestly, as I always recommend, if you have been waiting, if you have been current, already documentarily qualified, and your immigrant visa, you know for a fact that you have been current for at least 6 months. So your immigrant visa has been available for at least 6 months and you're already documentarily qualified, give it a shot and call US Embassy where your interview is going to be scheduled. Be very polite, very professional over the phone. Just say, hey, you know, my immigrant visa has been available for, I've been current for this amount of time, I'm already documentarily qualified, F2A category, just wanted to see when my interview was scheduled for. Because most likely the interview has already been scheduled, you're just waiting in line, you don't know when, because they can only announce the interview 30 days before the actual interview date. They don't announce it. Sometimes, very, very rarely, they announce it 60 days before the interview date, but in most cases, it is 30 days before the actual interview date. So let's say if your interview has been scheduled for January 1st, 2025, you're only gonna find out on December 1st, 2024 that your interview has been scheduled for January 1st, 2025. And when you call them, when you call the embassy, it's not an official announcement. Over the phone, it's not an official announcement. And sometimes if they cannot tell you your date, they can at least give you estimates and say, oh, right now the wait time for immigration visa, for family immigration visa interviews are 2 years or 2.5 years. And then you're gonna know approximately how long. But also I would encourage other people, if you're from Philippines, if your interview has been already scheduled, please comment. Please comment on Fiandres' comment. Please comment in general. You can comment on this video and say, I'm from Philippines and I waited for my interview for that long. Because that's the best indicator. That's the best way to know. If everybody shares it, that's the best way to know how long approximately. Because for each country, each US embassy in each country, the wait times are different. So Fiandres, I'm gonna post a link for the US Embassy in Philippines, in Manila, Philippines, I think. Let's see, so Philippines. There you go. So that's their phone number. And don't be upset for everyone who's calling US Embassy. Don't be upset. Don't try to argue. Don't try to prove anything. That's the worst thing that you can do. The worst thing you can do is to argue with government, with trying to prove them, government officials. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just say thank you. Not a problem at all. I appreciate your time. Bye-bye. That's it. If they don't want to tell, that's fine. Don't try to prove anything because you're going to make it worse. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Merite Sang 3579. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. Thanks much, very helpful. My daughter has tourist visa. She is, if ever, under F2B category. Can she change status if ever she will visit me, even if there is no visa available? Thanks. Great question. So no, unfortunately, you cannot do that. But if I understand your comment correctly, because you said if ever under F2B, that F2B takes quite a while. So if you have not filed the I-130 petition yet, file it as soon as possible. As soon as possible, because F2B takes quite a long time. You know, there's a long wait time for the backlog overall. I think, what is it right now? Right now it's about 2016. So from 2016 to 2024, what is it? Sorry, my math is horrendous. 8 years. So roughly 8 years. Roughly 8 years backlog right now there is for F2B. So the sooner you file it, the better. Now, if your daughter has a tourist visa, that's fantastic, because while this, you know, I-130 petition is pending, she can come and visit. There's always, you know, an extension for the visitor visa, so she can always come here and stay longer with you. So that's a huge plus. But no, unfortunately, you cannot change from you know, from a visitor visa. Once she enters, you cannot change. You cannot really do anything towards the immigrant visa. The only thing that you can do is on the if it is right around the time when the immigrant visa is already available, and as far as we can tell right now, about 8 years from now for the F2B, if she's around that time here and it is close to the availability of the immigrant visa, instead of being processed with the NVC, she can request the processing through the I-485, which is the application to register a permanent residence. So she could do that instead of going through the NVC. But honestly, I would not recommend doing it on a non-immigrant visa at all, especially on the visitor visa, because you really don't know whenever it comes to the timelines. It's not a very sure thing, you know, that she's still gonna have her valid duration of stay and can maintain her legal stay in the United States while waiting for everything else to be processed, if that makes sense. But yes, my recommendation is, you know, if you're planning to do that I-130, the sooner you do it, the better. All right, let's move on to the next one from user BR1QQ. Sorry, unfortunately, no name. Sometimes YouTube doesn't show me names. I don't know why. My documentary qualified email, 19 July 2023. Priority date 23 December 2021. When I can get interview appointment, please reply me. My husband is green card holder, USA. I'm from Bangladesh. Okay, so you are in old chargeability area. You're in F2A category because your husband's a green card holder. Your priority date is in December 2021. Let's take the visa bulletin. And right now we are on June 2021. And you are in December 2021. So as of right now, as of May 2024 visa bulletin, you still have, if visa bulletin, this is rough estimate, if the visa bulletin keeps moving 1 month every month, which sometimes it moves a lot more, which is a good thing. Sometimes it moves only 1 month every month, which is fine. Sometimes it doesn't move, which is not so good. And sometimes it retrogresses, goes back, which is bad, very bad. But if we see a constant movement of 1 month every month, you are looking at another, from June to December, what is it? June, July, August, September, October, November, December, so roughly 6 months. Before your priority date becomes current, before your immigrant visa is available. But keep in mind that there's also time after your immigrant visa becomes available, your interview is scheduled, and I'm not sure how Bangladesh is. Again, if someone is from Bangladesh and they had their family immigration interview scheduled, please comment and let us know how long the wait time for Bangladesh is. And in fact, if I can get as many people and from different countries, I can start maybe a list and just write down and keep it updated, and when someone asks from that country, I can just share it and say, oh yeah, in Bangladesh, according to, you know, the comment from 3 months ago from someone who's from Bangladesh in that category, it's, let's say, 1.5 year wait time for interview. And that's what you might be looking at, because on average it is 6 to a year, it's fast. A year to a 1.5 years, it seems to be what average is right now. And then the busier countries with more immigration flow, like Philippines, for example, or India, Mexico, of course, because as you can see, they have a separate chargeability areas. People wait as long as 2.5 years. So the times might vary, but for your availability of the immigrant visa, roughly 6 more months. All right, let me post a response here, and we're gonna move on to the next one from Azan Shahzad 9612. Sir, please make one video E2 visa I-129 from filing. You check complete YouTube, no one make video, and people demand $5,000 to fill form. Wow, thousands of people grateful to you to resolve this issue. All right, Azan, I got this on my list, and I will try to address it. I'll try to make it happen. Okay, let's move on to the next one from user UK9. Sorry, again, no name. My dad is a US citizen and I am in F1. My case is at the NVC. I had my case number and invoice already. I'm way over 21. Just like to know how much years I have left. Okay, my priority date is October 2019. And then looks like it's from the same user. Hi, how are you? I can't know when you come online, what time of the day you come on live. So some questions. Okay, so I don't have any specific dates, but when I do record these videos, like for example, today is May 4, 2024. And right now, what is it? It's like 12:30 p.m. Once I'm done with this video, once it uploads and once all of the processing is done, once I put the title and all of that sort of stuff, it goes live at 6 p.m. Eastern time when it is recorded. So I don't have, unfortunately, the exact dates, but it is 6 p.m. when these videos go live. But to answer your question, your F1, your priority date is October 2019. So let's take a look at the visa bulletin. So right now we are, for F1, as of May 2024 visa bulletin, we are on July 2015, and you're in October 2019. So you still have 4 years and July to October, August, September, October. 4 years and 3 months, roughly. The good news is that we have seen some really good progress for F1 recently, in the past 3-4 visa bulletin editions, if I remember correctly. Some really good movement for F1. So hopefully we will see that consistent movement and more movement in a month than a month, if that makes sense. And if that's the case, obviously you're not going to be waiting as long as 4 years for the availability of the immigrant visa, but as of right now, that's what you're looking at. Okay, so let me post a response here, and we're gonna move on to the next one. And actually, you know what, before we move on, I'm gonna take a look at the visa bulletin once again, the graph B, because I don't think, because you're 2019 and September 17 right now, the graph B, so the NVC portal is opening up for people with the priority date in September 2017. So your case is already at NVC, but I'm pretty sure you have not been documentarily qualified yet because the NVC portal is not open yet. And looks like as of right now, roughly you're looking at another 2 years and 3 months, maybe 2 years and 2 months before your NVC portal opens up. So I'd probably give it another year and then start preparing for documentary qualification. get all the documents ready, the fees, you know, and yeah, I have a video on this channel on, you know, the process of becoming documentarily qualified. So check it out, and yeah, if you have any questions along the way, don't hesitate to come back to this channel. All right, let's move on to the next one from Erica Ashley, F2A petition documentarily qualified March 2022, priority date February 2020, chargeability area Philippines. When will my wife and daughter get interview appointment? Permanent resident here. Thank you in advance. All right, let's take a look. So F2A, and we are looking at the priority date February 2020 Philippines chargeability area. So let's see if F2A, so Philippines, is current with the rest of the world, which is definitely huge, great news. So right now we're looking at June 2021, and you are in February 2020. So you are already current, and you have been current. Again, it's hard to tell how long you've been current because we have seen quite sporadic movement, positive movement, but sporadic. So not 1 month every month, but I think we've seen like 3 months on one occasion and then 4 months on another occasion movement ahead, which is great. It means it's catching up with the backlog, which is fantastic. But you're already current, you're already documentarily qualified. So just like I've mentioned to the previous commenter from Philippines, give them a call. Don't tell them I told you to do that. Be polite, be professional. Don't be upset if they say, I'm sorry, we cannot give you that information. But it is worth a shot because I've personally done that. It did not work for me, but I know people who it worked for. It depends on the US Embassy. It depends on who answers the phone. It depends on which mood they are in. Honestly, it is as simple as for them to just simply get your information, look into their system, scheduling system, and say, personalize, and say your interview is scheduled for that date. If they don't want to do that, they can say, oh, right now it's about 2 years, year and a half people are waiting. Or right now we are scheduling the interviews for people who have the priority date back in, say, January 2020. And you can estimate, judging by your priority date, how long you'll be waiting. But again, if they don't give you that information, don't be upset. But again, if anybody's from Philippines who had their interview scheduled, I'd really appreciate them commenting and sharing on Eric's comment, sharing how long they waited for. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Godwin Johnson 2851. Does a VAWA Self-Petitioner Spouse of a U.S. citizen pay filing fee for I-131 travel document, I-485 change of status, I-765 work authorization? Thank you very much for your question. So I-485, no, you're not paying. If it is the permanent residence based on your VAWA, which in your case it is, you're not paying any fees. Work authorization wise, you don't really have to worry because as part of the I-485, once it is approved, you're already, you have your legal right to work in the United States of America, so you don't have to worry about I-765 unless you have to maintain your VAWA. I'm not sure exactly how VAWA works because it might be that you have to maintain it for a certain amount of time, and while you're maintaining, you have to apply for work authorization. If that's the case, then I-765, you're not going to be paying any fees. As far as the I-131, the travel document, I'm pretty sure they don't have the exception specifically for VAWA, but let's take a look and find out, because with the I-131, it's more of a separate application. It's not going as part of your immigration case. It's going as a separate application. So a lot of times, even if you are, like for example, with VAWA, the status that is in a way comparable in the sense that it is an immigration case that is kind of going as one path, right? So it's like a ladder, and each application is a step, and you really cannot skip one. It's all part of it. Refugee or asylee cases. You start with your asylee applications, you get approved, you can apply for I-765. It's kind of like a branch again of the staircase, and then you have your I-485 applying for permanent residence as part of the same case. So all of that works together. It's the same thing with the VAWA. I-131, however, is kind of it's a completely different thing, and it's your personal decision to travel. So a lot of times they don't have these exemptions where you don't have to pay. However, I'm gonna post this link in the description, and you can check it out. This is the application for travel document. This is the official government page from USCIS. You probably have seen it yourself already. The filing fee right now, let's take a look. Let's see if there is any exemptions. You do not need to pay for additional fee for form if you are filing I-131 application type B or D. So let's take a look what the B or D is. You filed a form I-485 with a fee on or after July. No, that's not the case. Not applying. Your form is still pending. So yeah, maybe when you file your I-485, maybe you want to do that. Maybe you want to wait until your I-485 filed and then apply for the travel document. Because if you do, it seems like they do have the exemption for the fee for when the form I-485 is pending. All right, but let's take a look also at the form itself, and let's see what this B and D are and if it's applicable to you. I hold a U.S. refugee or asylee status. Oh, it looks like they waived. And D, I'm applying for advanced parole to allow me to return to the United States after temporary foreign status. So no, it doesn't seem like these are applicable to you. But one thing I want to also check, and if for sure, if it is applicable to VAWA, we can find it in instructions as well. And for anyone who's looking through the instructions, if you know something that is so particular that you're looking for, it is as simple as opening a PDF instructions and Control F and then typing in whatever it is you're looking for. So you see VAWA is not even mentioned on the instructions. So that's one of the things that I don't think they have the exemption specifically. But again, you have that option, 485, or another option that you have, and let me post a response here because I'm gonna have multiple links. So link number 1 is gonna be this, and another option that you have, link 2, is you can always file the, let's see if it's here on the main page. No, it isn't. Okay, so we'll go to all forms. I think it is 912. Yes, it is. Request for a fee waiver. That's another option that you have. And the only downside with a fee waiver is that you have to submit your full application package with a payment and everything, and then kind of hope that it is approved. Your 912 is approved, and if it is approved, then they're not going to charge you. But again, it's hit and miss. Honestly, if you can wait before the I-485 is filed and then apply for I-131, that seems like the best option for you to do. Okay, looks like there's another question from Goodwin Johnson. So Goodwin Johnson says, hello sir, thank you very much for your good work. My question are, does a VAWA self-petitioner spouse of a US citizen need to fill I-693, a medical examination form? Yes. So as part of your I-485, that's one of the requirements to register permanent residence in the United States of America, is that you have to go through the medical examination. Now, you don't fill out the I-693 personally. You go to a civil surgeon and then they fill it out for you. They seal it with their stamp on it, and then they give you the sealed envelope, and then you file that sealed envelope together with the rest of the I-485 application. I do have the video on this channel on how to file the I-485 petition and everything you need to, keep in mind. So check it out. But yes, the medical examination is definitely part of the I-485. Okay, let me post the answer here, and we're gonna move on to the next one from One Mermaid World. My priority date May 2016, documentary qualified April 2022, F11, so F1. How much longer for interview date? Please someone respond. Okay, so let's take a look. So your F1 priority date is in 2016, May 2016. So let's take a look at the visa bulletin. I'm gonna assume that you're from all chargeability area. So right now we have July 2015 and you are in May 2016. So roughly you have another year before your immigrant visa becomes available, roughly. So you're in May, in July, so 1 year and 2 months, roughly. It might be faster than that, it might be slower than that, depending on how visa bulletin moves. On this channel, every month the new visa bulletin comes out. I make a video separate and I compare it to the previous visa bulletin. So if you're not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And it's for you right now. This is the time where every month you are on the visa bulletin and you keep checking it. Once it becomes available, then the interview is scheduled, and then depending on where you're from, depending on how busy US Embassy is over there, then they schedule the interview and you will be waiting, depending again how busy the interview is, for your immigrant visa interview. So you still have at least year and a half, potentially 2.5 years, depending on how fast the immigrant visa is scheduled, immigrant visa interview is scheduled. But as far as the availability, roughly another year. Okay, so let me post a response and we're gonna move on to the next one from, let's see, DD24. Hi sir, can the F1 switch to current, and what does that mean if it switches to current? So right now the F1 is not current. It is quite a long way behind, like 9 years, about 9 years behind the F1. Can it switch to current? Not immediately. I don't think so, because it's more likely than the F2A is going to switch to current, because it seems like F2A is catching up. All the other categories are catching up as well, but again, because there is the whole 9 years of backlog, I don't think that we're going to see F1 switching to current anytime soon. Now, if theoretically, let's say, or hypothetically, I should say, it does switch to current, it means that immigrant visa is becoming available for everyone. That's it, just like that. If you are in F1 and it is current, your immigrant visa is available. That's it. Your priority date, it means whatever priority date you have, it is current and immigrant visa is available. That's what it means. Will we see it become current? I don't think so, unfortunately. Not anytime soon, at least. All right, let's move on to another one from Piyush Jai Bhai Music. Is there a way to file online and not have to mail the document? So that's a form I-539 application to extend or change non-immigrant status. I am pretty sure I-539 is available to file online. Let's take a look and see. There you go, application. File online, it is available. The only exception is to that filing option to file online is that if you have to submit I-539A together with your I-539 application. And you have to do that only when there's multiple people on the application. But if you're just filing for yourself, you can file it online. So I'm gonna post that link in my response. Let me post a response. And probably one more question for today. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, so number one option right here, file online. Boom. And we're gonna move on to the next one from Mohammed Saiduddin 9910. What if NVC sends a welcome letter and I forgot which mail I have submitted? Can you please help me on this? So NVC sent you a welcome letter and you forgot which mail you have submitted. I'm trying to understand your question. So, are you talking about the email? Did you receive the welcome letter? If you did not receive the welcome letter, then definitely reach out to the NVC through the public inquiry, and you can do that through the Department of State website, which is this page, is the visa bulletin, and you can find the link in the description below. But you can reach out to them through contact us right here at the top. And when you submit your public inquiry form, just use your USCIS receipt number, because if you missed your welcome letter, then you don't have your case number or invoice number. But if you have received your welcome letter and you don't remember what you have submitted as part of your documentary qualification process, in that case, you can tell by logging in to the NVC portal and going to the civil documents, the financial documents, going through all of them and seeing what you have submitted and what you have not. But again, if I'm misunderstanding, please comment again and explain it a little bit better, and I will try to get back to this one in the next video. So let me post the response, and thank you very much everyone for watching. Hopefully my answers were helpful. If you have any follow-up questions, don't hesitate to post them in the comments below. As always, God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.